Truth is as old as time and it's dependent on nothing. Truth is not subjective. Truth does not shift. The perceptions of truth shifting or changing subjectively is only proof of a person's misunderstanding or lack of mastery of whatever it is they're talking about. Therefore, being that truth is ageless, at a young age, it was hard for me to ingest that any one particular religion had sole ownership of the way to commune with God, or the way to everlasting life. There have been societies that have existed thousands of years prior to the existence of any of the world's major religions. Therefore, I could not continue to accept that Catholicism was the way, or that being a Methodist was the way, or that Islam was the way, or that any of them had the only way to commune, because there are people who are righteous people living righteously and better than any one of the members of any group. That being said, my religion is hip-hop. I'm set aside from the masses in that way. And the belief that anyone who existed prior to any said religion is quote-unquote damned, or anybody living since any particular religion who still lives a righteous and appropriate life is damned because they haven't joined a particular club, is not only difficult to grasp, it's illogical, it's nonsensical. As far as spirituality and religion goes, my religion is hip-hop, because the only things that I do religiously are hip-hop related. From the way that I speak, the way that I walk, the way that I talk, and what I do on a daily basis. It is all hip-hop related, or from a hip-hop perspective. I grew up, around Catholics, Southern Baptists, Jehovah's Witnesses, Muslims, and the common thread between all of them is that, and those that I just named and those unnamed, is that they all claim ownership of righteousness. They all claim ownership on the way to God, which to me is rather silly when God pre-existed all the religions. The truth of God pre-existed all the religions. To think that the Supreme Being gets hurt feelings based on, example, whether or not you're allowed to wear a hat in church, whether or not you're allowed to wear makeup, whether or not you pray X amount of times a day. Much of what goes into today's religion is largely practices that bring God to a human level and gives God human attributes. God being bothered or angered by something that we do to the point where we need to behave a certain way to appease God, in my opinion, is demeaning to God. Wherein I really believe that you naturally know and naturally would be kind and or work with human beings around you in the best way possible to sustain and maintain a community. How to behave, how to interact, the do's and don'ts of appropriate behavior are not defined by any particular religion. Religions have come and put their stamp on particular ways to get from A to B. But where I pump my brakes at is at the point where any religion says they have the only way to get from point A to point B. especially since all of the major religions are fairly recent. That there were societies that existed thousands of years and thrived and lived peacefully prior to Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, or whichever of the major religions you would choose to stand on as the one and only way to do anything. So for me, the things that I do religiously are all related to and regulated by my culture, which is hip hop. When I write, you know, it's like I have a conversation with God, with my personal divinity. When I perform, there's the same thing going on. When there's a hip hop show and everybody is of that like mind at the time when, say, KRS-One is performing, My Philosophy comes on, everybody in that crowd is tuned into that frequency, and the energy given via KRS creates a channel where everyone's locked in to what I believe is like a universal force of positive and upful energy. And there, to me, is no greater form of praise to the Most High than to connect with other manifestations of the Most High in your common man, and to focus your energy on a single good or a single thing or a single purpose. That type of exercise is how pyramids can be built. It's how monumental carvings can be done and accomplished in a lifetime. It's how societies can thrive in peace, living together, different yet the same, living together with the differences of other people for thousands of years can thrive when there is a universal channeling of energy. There's an agreement on behavior without a particular group feeling ownership of the way to behave. Once a group decides the way I do things is the way to do things, and no other way is acceptable, then chaos ensues. War ensues. Shortly thereafter, tyranny follows. So at the point when particular self-righteousness gets so big that it's intolerant of individuality and inconsiderate of the nuances and the differences that make us who we are, not only do I feel that that's other than good, other than just, other than in step with what the Creator would want. It shows that basic logic, reasoning, and rational thought have been abandoned at some point. And to be fully engulfed in any particular one to the degree that you feel ownership of the sole way to commune with God is a sign, it's a sign of insanity.
For everyone you trip on, you lose 5 if your life ain't Pacific. You are not alive. Navigate the current by its jet streams and tide. Don't buckle down with batches who ain't down for the ride. Walk down, fuck them all when they play it small. Mac down and stand tall when the trunk is solid. Then them trees not fall. Over yours not y'all. On the court them not ball. Starting we will not stall. Lying that's a spot y'all and kill for the pride. And laugh at how they got y'all. They can't get a piece when the max got all. Dimes keep coming, though we did not call. Hit the game. walk and never learn how to crawl. Looking for Paul, but you're fucking with Saul. Hold, fold, and back up, make the right call. Yes, y'all. Yes, 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 y'all.